Hello all, this is your CRC weekly update. It is Wednesday, January 6th, 2021. So this is your first update for 2021. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this video. I do have a bunch of stuff to share with you today, so appreciate your patience as we walk through all of that. First, wanted to give you an update on Erin Nichols. As many of you know, she's been in the hospital with COVID. I just texted her today and she is feeling much better. She is definitely on the road to recovery. They're even considering the possibility of her coming home in the next day or two. So if she continues in that direction, that may be taking place. Very thankful for all of that. And she wanted me to express to you how thankful that she has been for all the prayers, all the words of encouragement, all the ways that people like you have rallied around her and her family. So they're very thankful for all of that, but we're super excited to share that she probably is going to be coming home here sooner than later, sooner than we anticipated. So I encourage you to continue to be in prayer for Erin. And then in addition to that, wanted to update you on plans moving forward for us as a church. We've made the decision to stay online for the month of January. The health order comes to an end on January 15th, but we're anticipating that that will in some ways continue. We will change plans if things change, but at this point we think it's prudent to stay online through the month of January. And that also includes postponing the start of our Wednesday night activities, which would have normally started next Wednesday the 13th. So we are not going to start Wednesday nights until hopefully February. But again, we are holding our plans loosely just based on what's taking place. But everything will be online through January, including Sunday morning services. We are in the midst of talking about what are some of the things that we can do to help connect with each other in the meantime. So stay tuned for maybe some of the ways that we live into that, whether that's starting a prayer group again, whether that's doing an online class, whether that's maybe having a class for sermon conversation or coffee hour. We're in the process of talking through some of that right now, so stay tuned. We may be adding some things here in the month of January, which would be exclusively online. So appreciate your patience with all of that. It is surely not what we want to do. We sure want to connect and see each other and be together, but at this point we feel like it's the best plan for us to be online through the month of January. So don't hesitate to reach out to me or to Chris or to any of our consistory members as we walk through all of that. In addition to that, just wanted to update you on the upcoming congregational meeting. That is this Sunday, January 10th. It will start at 10:30 online on Facebook Live. So if you go to our Facebook page, you'll find that there at 10:30. We'll do our 9 a.m. normal service. And then when that finishes, we're going to take a little bit of a break to get ready, and then we'll do the online congregational meeting. If you go to our website at communityreform.net, you will find a link for the congregational meeting. And if you scroll to the bottom, you can click on that and you'll see the packet of information, which includes the agenda, what we're going to be voting on, budgets for 2021, kind of the picture of how we're spending money for global outreach and local outreach. Just encourage you to take a look at all of that and want to invite all of you to participate. Whether you're a member or not a member, you're sure welcome to join us for that online congregational meeting that will stay online following its completion on Sunday, so you can watch it later during the week. But really encourage you to take a look at what's going to be on the agenda. So voting is going to be different this year. We're not going to just vote at the congregational meeting, but during the congregational meeting online, there'll be an opportunity to receive an electronic ballot. And that ballot is not due until Monday, January 18th. So you're going to have a week or so to be able to vote. You can vote at the congregational meeting once you receive that ballot online. You don't have to wait. But for those of you that maybe are unable to watch it this Sunday and want to watch it later, we just want to make space to make sure everybody has a chance to vote. And so I wanted to say a few things about what's going to be on the ballot. So we'll be approving the budget for 2021. Again, if you go to the congregational meeting packet, you can see that. And there's some information, just overview of any of the changes that are taking place and why those changes are taking place. But some of the items that will be important, including the budget, will be voting on suspending our bylaws because we don't have enough deacon candidates for our election. We have 5 instead of 6. We require a double slate in our bylaws, and we don't have a double slate this year, so we have to ask you to suspend our bylaws to be able to move forward with the vote. We did 53 people were nominated for deacon this year, and out of those 53, we received 5 people who were willing to participate in that, and that's why we're asking you to suspend the bylaws. In addition to that, we're asking you to approve Jan Merrill to complete Wayne Boss's. He has 2 more years left on his term, and so he's decided to step away from being a deacon, and so we're asking that you would approve her to fill those last 2 years. She's completed the 1-year term that was left on Dana Fields's term, so it just makes a lot of sense for Jan to continue, and she'll end up having a normal deacon 3-year term. So we're asking you to approve that. That's part of what we're asking. In addition to that, we're asking you to approve us moving to the accountable leadership model. And if you go to our website at communityreform.net, you'll see a link to the accountable leadership information, which gives you the history. It talks about what the changes will look like. It gives you a picture of why we want to make that move. And so we're hoping that you will say yes, and then we will make that shift as we move into 2021, and we'll make that shift with Tom Ellenboss's help. None of us have really ever done this before, and so he's going to help walk us through this next year. Bud Klooster has said yes to being the chief governing officer, which is an important part of the accountable leadership model here at Community Reformed Church. And so he, with Tom Ellenboss, will be trained in how to go about living into that role. But again, we're asking for your approval. We can't move forward until we receive that approval. So I encourage you to consider that. And if it's a yes to that, then that also means our bylaws will change in regards to leadership roles at Community Reformed Church, because elders and deacons will now shift to be either a ministry elder or deacon or a governance elder or deacon. And so again, all that information is available on our website, so I encourage you to take a look at that. Those bylaw changes are part of the congregational meeting packet, so you can see all of that there. But those are just the items that you're going to see on the ballot that you'll be voting on. So don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. You don't have to wait till the congregational meeting this Sunday. Take a look at that stuff now. If you have questions, reach out to the people that could be helpful in that. If it's the financial piece, touch base with Judy Boss. If it has to do with the accountable leadership model, feel free to touch base with me or anyone on consistory. Or the voting piece, don't hesitate to touch base with me or anybody on the nominating committee, which are the outgoing elders and deacons. So that's a lot. Sorry for all of that. And for those of you that have heard it before, I'm sorry to regurgitate all that information, but I think it's really important that we're all on the same page. So again, don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. If you're a member of the church, you should have received an email that gives you some more clarity and direction regarding the voting and what's going to be taking place. If you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out to me or to Chris Mackey. Chris is kind of leading the charge on the electronic ballot, so if you have questions about the ballots, don't hesitate to reach out to him. All right. In other news, there is a youth event taking place tomorrow for junior high and senior high students. And so if you're available and interested, Dan Adams is going to be leading a youth event at McSaba's Sledding Hill. You guys are going sledding at 2:30 tomorrow, so that's Thursday. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out to Dan, but that's happening tomorrow. And then finally, this Sunday, we're going to be online. It'll be at 9 o'clock. And we're going to continue down this series that's focused on the I am statements that Jesus has made in the Gospel of John. And so on this Sunday, we're going to talk about I am the light of the world and what it means that Jesus is the light of the world. So if you want to read ahead, the text I'm going to be focusing on is John chapter 8, verses 12 through 20. Well, thank you for hanging in there for kind of this whole update. One final just closing thought and challenge to all of us is that in the midst of all that's taking place and not being able to do a lot of the things that we need to do, one of the things let's keep our eye on is the people around us. And so just want to strongly encourage you to not hesitate to reach out. That it doesn't have to be just somebody that you think may be lonely or in need, but anyone. Let's make a concerted effort to be a church that reaches out to the people around us. So if you're thinking about somebody, make a phone call. Say hi, check in, see how they're doing. If, it'd be helpful just to encourage somebody, send a card. Write a note of encouragement. Express to them how much they matter to you and how much you're thinking about them. And I hope that this helps all of us to live into that call that God's given us to be a people who love others. And it just feels like in this time, it's really important that we are intentional about reaching out, because there's so much of what we can't do. So let's do what we can do. So reach out to others. Thank you for listening to this. Again, if there's any needs that you have, any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Look forward to hopefully seeing your face sooner than later. But so thankful for your patience and flexibility and for your prayers as we walk through all of this. May God bless you.